How Alan Ritchson's height compares to Jack Reacher's, an essential characteristic of Lee Child's acclaimed hero, Jack Reacher, has always been his size. Described in the novels as being well above average in frame and stature, Reacher is a former military police officer whose specialized training is made all the more effective due to his incredible natural gifts, which come coupled with a keen sense of justice. Over a decade ago, Jack Reacher hit the silver screen for the first time with Tom Cruise in the title role. For everything that Cruise generally brings to his performances, especially in action roles, given Reacher's physically imposing size and Cruise's lack thereof, die-hard Jack Reacher fans weren't exactly thrilled with his casting. So when Amazon Prime was looking to launch a new generation of Jack Reacher stories, they settled on a man who fits the physically taxing bill, Alan Ritchson. When looking to cast a new actor for the role of Jack Reacher after Tom Cruise's back-to-back performances as the character in 2012 and 2016, respectively, author Lee Child knew that this time they would have to go in a different direction, one that was a little more book-accurate. During a conversation with Reader's Digest, Child reflected on the movie adaptation's blowback in regard to Cruise's casting, while admitting that this time he wanted to give readers what they were asking for, saying, with that in mind, casting for Amazon Prime's Reacher focused primarily on those actors capable of cutting an imposing figure while still having the necessary acting chops to carry an entire season of television on the back of their well-sculpted shoulders. It didn't take long for the studio and Child to reach a consensus that the best man for the job was then up-and-coming actor Alan Ritchson. As originally conceived by Lee Child, Jack Reacher's imposing size of 6'5" tall and weighing up to 250 pounds was always meant to serve as a sort of allegory for this U.S. Army veteran's unstoppable manner. Once he catches the scent of a crime or injustice, he refuses to back down and attacks the problem like an absolute force of nature. Alan Ritchson, standing at 6'4" tall and weighing a hefty 235 pounds, more than adequately fits that bill. And while fans might not have known precisely who he was upon hearing he had landed the job, they'd soon learn, and come to believe that Lee Child found the right man to bring his most infamous character to life. How did Alan Ritchson reach the same weight as Jack Reacher? Alan Ritchson was born a very, very large man. While his immense height was already enough to make him stand as tall as Jack Reacher, if he wanted to truly bring the character as written on the page to life, he needed to add a little weight. In fact, Amazon Prime and Skydance Studios had a weight goal already in mind, a non-negotiable 235 pounds. At the time of his casting, Ritchson tipped the scales at just 205 pounds, so he needed to get busy. Thankfully, Alan Ritchson was no stranger to time spent in the gym. Before getting into acting, he'd spent time as a professional model. More than just that, Ritchson's well-known earliest roles involved bringing physically imposing superheroes like Hank Hall/Hawk, Titans, and Arthur Curry/Aquaman, Smallville to life. However, in order to reach the contractually obligated weight for the role of Jack Reacher, Ritchson had to push himself harder than he ever had before in his life. During a conversation on The Rich Eisen Show, Ritchson revealed, Alan Ritchson's portrayal of Jack Reacher in the 2022 Amazon Prime series Reacher sparked renewed interest in both the character and the actor. One of the main reasons fans celebrated Ritchson's casting was because of his physical resemblance to the iconic literary character, especially his height. Jack Reacher, the protagonist of the popular Lee Child novels, is known for his intimidating size, which is a crucial part of his identity. How does Alan Ritchson's height compare to the fictional Jack Reacher? Let's explore the differences and what they mean for the character and the portrayal of his physical presence. Jack Reacher's iconic stature in the world of action thrillers. Jack Reacher stands out not just for his sharp intellect and relentless pursuit of justice, but for his formidable physical presence. In Lee Child's novels, Reacher is described as a giant, standing 6'5" tall and weighing around 250 pounds. His size is an important aspect of his character. It allows him to physically dominate opponents, and his imposing stature often serves as a psychological weapon. Reacher doesn't just rely on his brute strength, though his height and bulk are also symbols of his larger-than-life persona, contributing to his reputation as an unstoppable force. Child frequently emphasizes Reacher's height throughout the novels, using it as shorthand to show how he effortlessly commands a room or how adversaries immediately perceive him as a threat. His presence is described as unsettling to those who meet him, often because they don't expect someone with such intelligence to be so physically overwhelming. The tension between Reacher's calculated mind and his sheer physicality makes him a unique character in the genre. Alan Ritchson's height and physicality. Alan Ritchson, the actor who plays Jack Reacher in the 2022 TV series, stands at 6'2". While this is slightly shorter than the 6'5" height of the character in the novels, Ritchson's height is still imposing by any standard. Most average men in the United States stand around 5'9" tall, making Ritchson's 6'2" frame significantly taller than the norm. Though he is 3 inches shorter than the literary Reacher, Ritchson compensates with his muscular build and on-screen physicality. Ritchson, known for his roles in Blue Mountain State and as Hawk in Titans, is no stranger to playing physically demanding characters. His athletic background, combined with his strong on-screen presence, allows him to embody Reacher in a way that resonates with fans. Ritchson's powerful build makes him appear even larger than his actual height, allowing the audience to believe in his ability to take down multiple opponents with ease. Moreover, Ritchson brings a groundedness to the character that complements his physicality. While his height might not match Reacher's exactly, his physical performance aligns with the character's intimidating nature. In action scenes, Ritchson moves with the same grace and efficiency that fans expect from Reacher. His portrayal of controlled violence and precision in fights mirrors the way Child wrote Reacher's combat skills in the books, where he often wins fights through strategic force rather than sheer brutality. The importance of height in casting Jack Reacher. Casting for height has always been a contentious issue when it comes to Jack Reacher. When Tom Cruise was cast as Reacher in the 2012 and 2016 film adaptations, fans expressed disappointment, not because Cruise lacked acting chops, but because he stood at 5'7", a far cry from Reacher's towering 6'5". This difference in height became a sticking point for many readers, as Cruise's smaller stature didn't convey the same physical dominance that the character exudes in the novels. While Cruise delivered in terms of action and intensity, his height was often cited as a misfit for the role. For many fans, Reacher's size is a key part of his identity, and casting a shorter actor changed the way the character was perceived on screen. This reaction to Cruise's casting only heightened anticipation when the role was recast for the 2022 series. With Ritchson's 6'2" frame, Amazon's series received praise for staying truer to the character's imposing nature. Although he's still a few inches shy of Reacher's described height, the difference is less pronounced and less noticeable, particularly given Ritchson's broad shoulders and muscular build. It's a closer match to the literary vision of Reacher, which is something fans immediately appreciated. Height beyond the numbers. Ultimately, the comparison between Alan Ritchson's height and Jack Reacher's literary height is about more than just numbers. While Reacher's towering height is a key aspect of the novels, what truly matters in an adaptation is how well an actor can embody the essence of the character. Ritchson's portrayal manages to capture both Reacher's physical prowess and his quiet intelligence, making him a believable version of the character despite being slightly shorter. In the end, Ritchson's height may not be an exact match for Reacher's, but his performance and presence are what make the character come to life on screen. The important thing is that Ritchson channels Reacher's essence,